That's why I'm super proud to introduce Representative Ayanna Pressley as one of our most fierce progressive champions. So you probably know Representative Pressley as being one of the 4 squad members. And as somebody who's a young Blasian female progressive, Representative Ayanna Pressley's leadership in Congress, her unapologetic, bold stances on economic justice, standing up for young people, and the climate crisis has been a bright light in this darkness for me because I'm seeing someone that looks like me fight for all of us. So this is where I have to definitely say I'm so honored to introduce my favorite member of Congress, being blessed by this melanin joy this evening, the wonderful, the amazing Representative Ayanna Pressley. The floor is yours, Queen.
Thank you. And I'm just a reflection of you, my sister. So I extend that queen greeting right back at you. It's good to be with all of you. I wish we could physically be together. I'm so grateful to the People's Action for inviting me to join you just for a couple of minutes virtually in community. I want to start out, we were talking about how this has been a tough week, and it's been more than a tough week. It seems that we've been drinking from this fire hose of insult and assault for a long time. Attacks on our civil rights, our civil liberties, to our very humanity, to our peace of mind. And so I really appreciate the intentionality with which you've arrived at this, this text event this evening. And I want to just bring into the room some words that were offered by a sister in service, a scholar, and a thought leader whom I respect a great deal. Her name is Brittany. And, she said that we should be saying this affirmation every day. I won't do the whole thing, but the top 2 lines are deeply resonant for me, and I hope they will be to you as well. And it's that I choose the discipline of hope over the ease of cynicism. And I choose fortitude over fatalism. I choose the discipline of hope over the ease of cynicism. And I choose fortitude over fatalism. Each of you made that decision consciously this morning to arrive right here at this moment. And, as someone who's an only child and who's been doing sort of coalition and movement building work my entire life, really since I was in utero, because I grew up in an activist household. My mother was a tenants' rights organizer and a community activist and a super voter. I think the reason I took to movement building work early on, other than her exemplary role modeling, is because I love the chosen family that you create and that you find along the way. And as evidenced by the fact that we have justice seekers and disruptors and activists and agitators and change agents from throughout the country here this evening, that chosen family, it transcends geography. And I was introduced as one of the squad members, and I'll proudly assert that those are my sisters, my closest cohorts in Congress. But the squad is anyone doing the work of building a more equitable and just world. So you're all members of the squad. And, again, my mother, my forever shero, she taught me early on the values of movement building and civic engagement. And she taught me that the work of racial, social, economic, gender, and green justice is not only for those with a fancy comma and a title after their name. You all know that the only way to effectuate change in a deep, meaningful, and sustainable way is to build an active and engaged movement committed to partnership and to progress. And that is the task and the opportunity and the responsibility before us right now. We need to reach out to our neighbors and our friends and bring them into this process and make them understand. And let me just say this, do not make assumptions about who desires and deserves a seat at the table of democracy. Talk to everyone and make plain the stake of these elections. Now today, our community is facing overlapping crises of public health, economic inequality, systemic racism, and these crises have been exacerbated by an occupant of the White House, Republicans in Congress, who at every opportunity have turned their backs on the American people and chosen instead of uplifting and advancing and being committed to the collective healing of the American people, instead to advance bigoted, xenophobic policies. And now, as we look ahead to November, the occupant of the White House, he knows that his failures, and there are many of them, are all on the ballot. And the only way to hold on to power is to cheat and to steal. So it is really incumbent upon all of us to ensure that we not only take back the White House, but that we also regain control of the Senate and increase and strengthen our majority in the House. And we have to elect leaders up and down the ballot who will legislate our values. I believe in the power of the people. You know, my mother, she instilled that in me so early. I believed her then that we the people are powerful. I believe her now. You know, the only reason we still have an ACA is not for the courage of lawmakers. It's for the conviction of everyday people like you who laid their bodies on the lines. So we have to intentionally engage new voters, infrequent voters, in those communities that have traditionally been left out and left behind. That work, the work of intentional organizing, of listening, is the work that you are doing tonight. And we know that we don't just organize for elections. We organize to build community. We organize to build power. And the truth of the matter is, no matter who is in office, it's still going to be on us. You know, I went to the Supreme Court steps the other night for the vigil celebrating Justice Ginsburg's life and fortifying us for the work ahead. And one of the speakers said, you know, I've got you, you've got me, we've got each other, and that's all we need. And it's the truth. So no matter who is in office, it's still going to be on us to organize, to advocate, and to legislate policies which advance racial, economic, education, transit, housing, healthcare, and environmental justice. Now, my heart breaks that we have to keep coming together time and again to protest, to demonstrate, to demand that people see our humanity, that people understand that our freedoms and our destinies are tied. My heart breaks at that. But it swells that we keep doing it. We keep coming together. And the charge for us now is to turn the culture shift moment that we find ourselves in, and this national reckoning on racial injustice, to then turn that into a power shift, to then turn that into a policy shift. Reverend Barber says we're in the midst of a national reckoning which demands of us a third reconstruction. And I'm enlisting all of you as community builders in that new world, because another world is possible. A better world is possible. The status quo normal that predated this moment in time was insufficient, unjust, and inadequate to begin with. So we find ourselves in unprecedented times, and these unprecedented times demand of us unprecedented organizing, unprecedented mobilizing, and unprecedented hope, which is what all of you give me. So thank you. Thank you for the intention with which you arrived here today with full hearts and purposed fingers and feet. Thank you for being here today, for committing to partnership and civic engagement during the most consequential election and moment of our lives. And I know that our work is just getting started.
Thank you, Representative Ayanna Pressley. If folks want to unmute and cheer. I know we're in a virtual world right now, but we can perform like.
Thank you, Ayanna.
Needed this so much. Needed it.
You are brilliant. Needed all of you. You are a balm for a weary, weary soul. I'm telling you.
You are a bomb.
Yeah, you're my bomb today.
You're the bomb.
A bomb and
Love it.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm gonna text the shit out of today. Thank you.
Here, everyone. I gotta get some votes.
Thank you, Representative Pressley, for laying the foundation for this movement. And, you know, like many of y'all, I felt defeated and devastated last week, but this is exactly what we needed to, you know, pick on up and continue mobilizing. So thank you again for all that you're doing to, you know, build
Thank you.
further these movements, because like that's what's going to take to win. So thank you.
All right, squad up, y'all. I'll see you. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Take care.
Bye.